This is Dr. J. Welcome to Thesis 101, where you just want to take a nap in the fetal position. In the series, we cover tips and tricks to help you on your research journey. If you're interested and you would like to see more videos like this, please give this a thumbs up. Also, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I'm like Tinkerbell. I need subscribers to stay alive. Anyway, today's focus is on referencing. Why do we have to do it? A special thanks to Justin Sillier for recommending this topic. Let's get right into it. Referencing is probably one of the most overlooked aspects in the research process, especially amongst novice researchers. For some reason, students feel like referencing is a chore designed by Satan himself and is an awful lot of trouble to go through to prove that you are not plagiarizing. While a big part of referencing is to give credit where credit is due, another major part of it is to provide your reader with the evidence of why they should trust what you are writing. In other words, the quality of your writing is influenced by the quality of your references. What do I mean by this? There are a couple of things that the reader pays attention to when they assess the quality of your references. First up, your research topic. The point of research is to contribute to knowledge. The word contribute means to build on top of previous research. So think of previous research as a foundation on which you want to build your house. If the foundation is bad, your house will crumble. But if it's good, your house stands a fighting chance. When assessing the quality of references as it relates to your topic, the reader is looking for key references. Here are a few examples. If your topic is about gravity, you may want to reference Sir Isaac Newton, or if it's about the telephone, Alexander Graham Bell. Of course, this also applies to things in your thesis, dissertation, or paper that is not directly related to our topic, but it is related to a principle. For instance, if you are doing case study research, one of the key authors to reference is a guy called Robert Yin. Or if you are doing qualitative analysis, a lot of what you do is usually based on Braun and Clark. Every topic has key authors. By including them, it gives the assurance to the reader that you at the very least have tried to understand the basics. In my next tutorial, I'll show you things to look out for that will give you some indication of who these key authors are. Something else the reader looks at when assessing the quality of your references is how well those references back up your statements. For instance, here is a statement. For more than 30 years, the issue of alignment between business and IT strategies remains one of the top 3 issues faced by IT executives. Here are the references backing the statement. Number 1, the range of when these papers were published spans over 30 years, so the reader has no reason to question that part of your statement. Number 2, the authors we have referenced here are people who have dedicated their lives to researching this particular topic. Therefore, the statement is quite believable. In other words, the quality of the references have given validity to the statement. Another thing that influences the quality of references is its relevance to context. Consider this example. The context, it is the year 2013. The statement, the use of YouTube in education is a relatively new field of study and not much literature has been published regarding the subject. According to this, the reference is 2 years old, and since YouTube has only been in existence for 7 years at this point, the reader would be inclined to believe the statement. But let's change the context to the year 2020. All of a sudden, this reference is 9 years old, YouTube is a teenager, and in the age of rapid technological expansion, the relevance of this particular reference is now questionable. Since the reference is out of date, the statement is out of date. Can you now see the power of referencing? Now let's just focus on the dates. Does this mean that all old references are of poor quality? Not at all. Again, it depends on the context. Let's keep the context as 2020. Here is a new statement. Schumpeterian rents are derived from innovative services or products. By the way, this is an economic principle that explains how an organization can use innovation to increase their profitability. The reference is from 1934. This reference is 86 years old, but like most economic principles, Schumpeterian rents wasn't defined yesterday. As such, going into the archives to find the original author who this principle was named after increases the quality of your references. These examples of context should give you a good indication that the context gives meaning to the quality of your references. If you are looking purely at a name or a date of publishing without taking into consideration the context, then you are missing the point of referencing. Now, the context is not only limited to time frames, but that is a tutorial for a different day. One more thing that gives an indication of the quality of your references is how you synthesize the work and viewpoints of many authors into one coherent story. Synthesizing is different to summarizing. Most students are very familiar with the act of summarizing, which is to give a brief account of what the author said. Synthesizing, on the other hand, is combining the views of many authors to make a single point or a series of points. As researchers, we aim to synthesize. We need to take many viewpoints and weave it into a central argument. You can learn more about this in the Golden Thread series I did a couple of weeks ago, by the way. Coming back to the point of today's lesson, though, the reader can deduce whether you have summarized or synthesized information just by looking at your in-text referencing. This is how. This is summarizing. You have read 5 papers, and for each paper you create a paragraph summarizing what each author has said. You don't necessarily have a point. You just know that each of these authors' work somehow relates to the purpose of your research. Without fail, whenever I see a first-time submission of a proposal, background, or lit review from a new researcher, this is what I see. Now this is synthesizing. You have read the same 5 papers, but you realize that you have 2 coherent points you'd like to make based on all of them. By the way, if you check out my series on how to do a lit review and the series on how to improve academic writing, I show you practical tips to get to the synthesizing stage. Now, of course, it's not always this clear-cut to see whether someone has summarized versus synthesized. I mean, the reader still has to read the work to make that final assessment, but how you use in-text references is a very good indicator, so you may want to look out for that. There are a lot more ways that references are used to assess the quality of work. For now, what we've covered should be enough. As you can see, references give a lot more detail than what we realize. So in summary, references are used to give credit where credit is due. It is not a chore. And we can use it to convince the reader that what we have stated has validity. That concludes this introductory lesson. The next one is focused on how to find good references. If you like this lesson, please give this a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. You have no idea how much that means to my channel. Let me know if there are any other topics you would like me to cover. Signing off.